What if the final chapter of your life could be the most meaningful? Imagine this, instead of being defined by frailty or fear. Your later years are celebrated as a time of profound wisdom, deep reflection, and genuine connection. For many, this might seem like an idealized dream, but it doesn't have to be. Aging is inevitable, none of us can escape it, but how we approach it, how we choose to live each moment, defines whether these years will feel like a decline or a blossoming. Unfortunately, the reality for countless individuals is far from this vision. As they grow older, they slip into lives marked by isolation, purposelessness, and regret lives that, for some, feel worse than death itself. Days blur together in monotony. Relationships drift into silence. And dreams once cherished now seem like distant memories. But here's the truth, it doesn't have to be this way. The later stages of life hold immense potential for joy, growth, and transformation if we choose to embrace them with courage and intention. This isn't about pretending that aging is without challenges. Yes, our bodies change, our roles shift, and we face inevitable losses. But within these changes lies an invitation, a call to live fully, to connect deeply, and to discover the beauty of each fleeting moment. In Buddhist philosophy, this wisdom is beautifully captured in teachings on anicca, impermanence, praditya samutpada, interconnectedness, and sati, mindfulness. These principles remind us that no matter our age, life is a dynamic journey of change, connection, and renewal. Take a moment to reflect. What if your greatest contributions are yet to come? What if, in embracing the wisdom of impermanence, you could let go of regret and focus instead on the opportunities before you? What if, through mindfulness, you could rediscover purpose in the simple, meaningful moments of daily life? The beauty of life's later chapters is that they are yours to shape. You can choose to cultivate relationships, prioritize your health, and nurture your sense of purpose. You can step into these years with grace and dignity, learning from Buddhist teachings that life is not measured by its length but by the depth of our presence and the warmth of our connections. Over the course of this video, we'll explore 8 common pitfalls of aging that can steal away the joy of these years if left unaddressed. But this isn't just about identifying problems, it's about uncovering solutions rooted in both practical wisdom and the timeless teachings of Buddhism. From the danger of isolation to the power of gratitude, each insight will serve as a guide to help you reclaim joy, purpose, and connection. So, whether you're entering this stage of life yourself or walking alongside someone who is, know this, the power to transform these years lies within you. Aging is not the end of the story, it's a new chapter waiting to be written. A chapter filled with lessons, growth, and profound meaning. Let's embark on this journey together. By understanding these challenges and embracing the wisdom that flows from them, we can illuminate a path toward a vibrant, purposeful, and fulfilling life. Are you ready to turn the page? Let's begin. 1. The danger of isolation. Loneliness doesn't arrive all at once, it sneaks in, quietly weaving itself into the fabric of our days. At first, it's subtle, a missed phone call, a canceled visit, or a friend who moves farther away. Over time, these small absences add up, leaving an older adult feeling increasingly disconnected from the world they once knew. And it's not just about being physically alone. True isolation is the gnawing sense of being unseen, unimportant, and removed from the rhythm of life itself. It's waking up each day to a silence that feels heavier than sound, a quiet that presses on the spirit. In these moments, it's easy to believe that the world has moved on without you. Children have their own families to care for. Friends are caught up in their own struggles. And the faces of loved ones, once constants, now feel like distant memories. This loneliness doesn't just sit quietly in the background, it grows, impacting not only the heart but the body and mind. Studies have shown that prolonged isolation can lead to serious health issues, from weakened immunity to cognitive decline. It's a stark reminder that humans are, by nature, social beings. Connection isn't just a luxury, it's a necessity for our well-being. Yet, while the weight of isolation can feel overwhelming, Buddhist philosophy offers a perspective that brings both hope and clarity. The principle of pratitya samutpada, or dependent origination, reminds us that everything in life is interconnected. No one exists in isolation, even when it feels that way. Our lives are intricately woven into the lives of others, friends, family, neighbors, and even strangers. Loneliness, then, is not a fixed state. It's a condition, a moment in time, that can be transformed through the simple act of reaching out and reconnecting. Reconnection doesn't have to mean grand gestures or monumental changes. It starts with small acts of courage, picking up the phone to call someone you haven't spoken to in years or writing a heartfelt letter to a family member. These small actions are like seeds, planting the possibility of renewed relationships and shared moments. Even attending a local community event, as intimidating as it might feel at first, can open the door to new friendships. The key is to take that first step, however small, and trust that connection is always within reach. In today's digital age, technology offers new ways to stay connected, even when physical distance separates us. Video calls, emails, and social media platforms are tools that can bridge the miles and bring loved ones closer. Imagine the warmth of seeing your grandchild smile during a video call or the joy of reconnecting with an old friend through a simple message on social media. These moments of connection, however fleeting, remind us of our place in the world and reaffirm that we are not forgotten. But connection isn't solely about others, it's also about how we relate to ourselves. Buddhist practices like metta bhavana, loving-kindness meditation, teach us to cultivate compassion, not just for those around us but also for ourselves. When we direct love and kindness inward, we begin to soften the edges of loneliness and create space for healing. This meditation involves intentionally sending thoughts of well-being and compassion to ourselves, then expanding those feelings outward to others, family, friends, acquaintances, and even people we may have grown distant from. Through this practice, we nurture a sense of connection that transcends physical presence. It's important to remember that vulnerability is not a weakness, it's a doorway to deeper relationships. Reaching out to someone and expressing your feelings, even if it feels uncomfortable, can lead to moments of profound connection. Telling a friend, "I've missed hearing from you," or inviting a neighbor for tea can spark interactions that enrich both your life and theirs. Vulnerability is the foundation of intimacy, and it's through intimacy that we dissolve the barriers of isolation. Loneliness often tells us the lie that we're better off retreating, that reaching out will only lead to rejection or disappointment. But the truth is, humans are wired for connection. When we step outside of our comfort zones, we often find that others are just as eager to connect as we are. Whether it's through shared laughter, a kind word, or a simple gesture, these moments remind us that we are never truly alone. Life's richest experiences come from relationships, both new and old. The joy of reminiscing with a childhood friend, the comfort of sitting beside a family member, or even the warmth of exchanging a smile with a stranger in the park are all reminders of the beauty of connection. These interactions breathe life into our days, adding color and meaning where there was once gray. Ultimately, overcoming isolation requires a combination of courage and effort. It's about taking that first step, however small, and allowing it to lead you back into the vibrant web of life. Each connection you nurture, whether through technology, shared activities, or simply being present strengthens the threads that bind us together. And in doing so, you'll rediscover the joy, purpose, and love that make life truly worth living. 2. Neglecting physical health. The human body is a remarkable creation, a vessel that carries us through life's joys, challenges, and every moment in between. It is resilient, adaptable, and capable of incredible strength. Yet, as the years pass, many fall into the habit of neglecting their physical well-being, often dismissing aches, fatigue, or declining strength as simply part of getting older. This mindset, though common, does a disservice to the body's potential and, more importantly, to the life still waiting to be lived. Neglecting physical health can start subtly, much like isolation, a skipped walk here, a habit of choosing convenience over nourishment there. Over time, these small choices accumulate into larger challenges: stiffness that limits mobility, weight gain that burdens the heart, or even illnesses that could have been prevented with early care. It becomes easy to accept these changes as inevitable. But in truth, much of what we experience as aging is simply the result of choices left unmade. In Buddhist teachings, there is a practice known as kayanapassana, or mindfulness of the body. This concept invites us to view the body not as something to be ignored or resented, but as a sacred vessel deserving of care and attention. The body, after all, is what allows us to experience the world. It is the foundation for every moment of connection, every smile, every embrace. By observing the body with compassion rather than judgment, we begin to understand its needs and its extraordinary capacity to heal and adapt. Taking care of your body is not about reversing time or chasing an idealized version of youth. It's about preserving the independence and vitality that allow you to fully engage with life's experiences. Imagine being able to stroll through a park with ease, play with your grandchildren without tiring, or wake up each morning feeling strong and capable. These are not unattainable dreams, they are the rewards of treating your body with the respect and care it deserves. One of the most powerful ways to nurture physical health is through movement. This doesn't mean grueling workouts or exhausting routines, rather, it's about finding gentle, sustainable forms of exercise that align with your body's needs. Practices like yoga or tai chi, for example, combine physical movement with mindfulness, promoting flexibility, balance, and strength while also calming the mind. A daily walk in the fresh air, even for just 20 minutes, can invigorate the body and lift the spirit. Equally important is how we nourish our bodies. In Buddhist philosophy, the principle of santuthi, contentment, teaches us to find satisfaction in simplicity. This can be beautifully applied to our diets. Shifting toward whole, nourishing foods isn't about deprivation or strict rules. It's about honoring your body with meals that provide energy, support health, and bring enjoyment. Fresh fruits, vegetables, whole grains, and lean proteins are not just fuel, they are gifts you give to yourself. A way of saying, I care about my well-being. But physical health is not just about what we do, it's also about what we notice. Many older adults ignore minor aches, dismiss fatigue, or delay doctor visits, assuming these issues are normal or not worth worrying about. Yet, addressing health concerns early can prevent small issues from becoming major problems. Scheduling regular checkups, listening to your body's signals, and advocating for your health are acts of empowerment. They remind you that your well-being is within your control and that you have the right to live comfortably and vibrantly. Caring for your physical health is an act of self-love. It's a commitment to yourself and the life you want to live. When you prioritize your body's needs, you're not just maintaining health, you're creating the freedom to enjoy the activities, relationships, and moments that bring you joy. Think of the laughter shared at a family gathering, the quiet satisfaction of tending a garden, or the peace of walking by the ocean. These are the experiences that make life rich and meaningful, and they are made possible by a body that feels strong and capable. Neglect can often stem from a place of resignation, a belief that it's too late to start or that change is no longer possible. But the body is far more forgiving than we often realize. With even small, consistent efforts, it responds, adapts, and heals. You might find that after a few weeks of gentle stretching, your joints feel less stiff, or that swapping out processed snacks for whole foods gives you more energy throughout the day. These changes might seem small, but they build on one another, creating a ripple effect that transforms not just how you feel physically but how you engage with life. Taking care of your body is not about striving for perfection. It's about acknowledging the gift you've been given and treating it with the care it deserves. The body is your partner in this journey, not something to be ignored or taken for granted. When you honor it through movement, nourishment, and mindful attention, you create a foundation for a life filled with vitality, independence, and the freedom to embrace every moment with open arms. Remember, your body has carried you through every chapter of your life so far. It's never too late to say thank you and to begin treating it with the love and respect it has always deserved. This isn't just about living longer, it's about living better, with strength, dignity, and the joy of knowing you are capable of experiencing life to its fullest. 3. Losing a sense of purpose. Losing a sense of purpose can feel like losing the very compass that once guided your life. For so many, purpose was tied to roles they held for decades: the dedicated professional, the devoted parent, the tireless caregiver. When those roles shift or come to an end through retirement, an empty nest, or the loss of loved ones, it can feel as though the ground beneath you has vanished. Days begin to blur together, each one seemingly devoid of direction or meaning, leaving an ache in the heart that's difficult to name but impossible to ignore. This void is not just about missing the busyness of life, it's about losing the deep satisfaction of feeling useful, needed, or connected to something larger than yourself. And yet, Buddhist philosophy reminds us that purpose is not something external to be achieved. It is not found solely in titles, accomplishments, or even others' recognition of your value. Purpose is a quiet, internal force, rooted in the way we approach each moment with mindfulness, compassion, and intention. It is not static but dynamic, changing and evolving as we do. In this phase of life, purpose can feel elusive because it no longer looks the way it once did. But this is also an invitation to redefine what purpose means to you now. It may not involve the ambitious goals of your younger years, and it doesn't have to. Purpose can shift from external achievements to the richness of your internal world and the smaller, yet equally meaningful, acts of care and kindness you offer to others and yourself. What if purpose wasn't something to chase, but something to nurture within the quiet beauty of your everyday life? Consider this: tending a small garden can become an act of profound purpose. Each plant you care for, each bloom you coax into life, is a reminder of your ability to nurture and create. Writing in a journal, even for just a few minutes each day, allows you to connect with your inner thoughts and reflect on the lessons life has taught you. Reaching out to share your experiences with younger generations, whether through mentoring, storytelling, or simply being present, can leave a legacy of wisdom and love that transcends time. Mindfulness plays a powerful role in rediscovering purpose. When you slow down and truly observe your life, you'll find that meaning often hides in the smallest moments: the laughter shared with a friend, the warmth of the sun on your face, or the satisfaction of preparing a meal with care. These are not grand gestures, but they are deeply human experiences that remind us of our place in the world and the interconnectedness of all life. Purpose is not always about changing the world. Sometimes it's about changing how you see the world. Setting small, achievable goals is another way to reignite your sense of purpose. These goals don't need to be monumental. They can be as simple as learning how to bake a new recipe, practicing a musical instrument, or finishing a book you've always wanted to read. These small victories create a sense of momentum, proving to yourself that you are still capable of growth, discovery, and contribution. They remind you that life is not just about what you've done in the past, but about what you can still create in the present. One of the most profound ways to find purpose is through connection. Humans are inherently relational beings, and your value is magnified when shared with others. Volunteering at a local shelter, joining a book club, or participating in a community project can introduce you to new relationships while allowing you to contribute in ways that are deeply fulfilling. Even a simple conversation with a neighbor or a kind word to a stranger can ripple outward, creating connection and meaning in unexpected places. Purpose is not confined to a single definition, nor is it tied to the conventional milestones of success. It is as vast and varied as the individuals who seek it. The Buddhist perspective teaches us that life's true purpose lies in being present, embracing the impermanence of each moment, and acting with intention and compassion. Purpose is not about the end result, it's about the journey, the effort, and the way we choose to engage with the world. When you look inward and ask yourself what truly brings you joy, you may discover that your purpose has been quietly waiting for you all along. Perhaps it's in the care you show to others, the creativity you bring to a hobby, or the wisdom you share with someone in need of guidance. Perhaps it's in simply being present, appreciating the life you've lived, and finding peace in the knowledge that you are still contributing to the world in meaningful ways. Rediscovering purpose is not about reclaiming what once was, but about embracing what is now. It's about recognizing that life continues to unfold, even in its later chapters, with opportunities for growth, love, and connection still waiting to be explored. When you choose to seek purpose in small, intentional ways, you transform each day into a meaningful experience. You remind yourself and the world that your presence matters, that your contributions have value, and that the journey toward purpose is, in itself, a deeply fulfilling act of living. 4. The pitfall of financial mismanagement. Financial insecurity can feel like a silent weight, pressing down on every decision you make. It introduces a kind of uncertainty that colors even the most ordinary moments, turning a trip to the grocery store into a stressful calculation or an unexpected bill into a sleepless night. For many older adults, the fear of running out of money or becoming a financial burden looms large, creating stress that overshadows the joys of life. This anxiety doesn't just affect the mind, it seeps into your emotional well-being, your relationships, and even your sense of self-worth. Money, though often seen as a source of stress, is ultimately just a tool. It is not the enemy, nor is it the solution to every problem. At its best, money creates opportunities for freedom, security, and the ability to live a life aligned with your values. However, when finances are neglected, poorly managed, or misunderstood, they can become a source of constant worry, eroding not just your bank account but your peace of mind. This is where the wisdom of Buddhist philosophy, particularly the principle of sati or contentment, offers a refreshing perspective. Sati reminds us to focus on what we have rather than what we lack, to find joy in simplicity and sufficiency rather than chasing endless accumulation. Financial stability, then, isn't about amassing wealth, it's about managing your resources mindfully and aligning your spending with what truly matters to you. This shift in perspective can transform money from a source of fear to a tool for empowerment. The first step in overcoming financial mismanagement is awareness. It's easy to avoid looking at the full picture of your finances, especially if it feels overwhelming. But clarity is liberating. Take an honest inventory of your income, expenses, debts, and savings. This isn't about judgment or guilt, it's about understanding where you stand so you can move forward with confidence. Once you have a clear sense of your financial situation, you can create a realistic budget that prioritizes your essential needs and reflects your personal values. This is not about restricting your life, but about ensuring that your resources support the life you want to live. Sometimes, navigating finances can feel too complex to handle alone. And that's okay. Seeking guidance from a trusted financial advisor or a knowledgeable family member can provide insights and strategies you might not have considered. They can help you plan for future expenses, explore investment opportunities, and protect your savings from common pitfalls like scams or risky decisions. This kind of support doesn't just safeguard your finances, it provides peace of mind, knowing that you're making informed choices. But financial stability is about more than just numbers. It's also about your mindset. Cultivating gratitude for the resources you already have can shift your focus away from scarcity and toward abundance. Reflect on the ways your finances, no matter how modest, support your independence and provide for your needs. This practice of gratitude doesn't erase financial challenges, but it reframes them, helping you approach your situation with a sense of control and empowerment rather than fear and limitation. Mindful financial management also involves setting boundaries, both with yourself and with others. For some, this might mean resisting the urge to overspend on non-essential items. For others, it could involve having honest conversations with family members about your financial limits. Supporting loved ones is a natural instinct, but it should never come at the expense of your own stability. Setting clear boundaries isn't selfish, it's an act of self-respect that ensures you can continue to live with dignity and independence. As you work toward financial clarity and stability, it's important to celebrate small victories. Perhaps you successfully stick to your budget for a month, or you finally create a savings plan for an upcoming expense. These moments matter. They reinforce the idea that financial security isn't about perfection, it's about progress and intention. Each step you take strengthens your foundation, allowing you to focus less on worry and more on the experiences and relationships that bring you joy. Remember, financial mismanagement is not a life sentence. It's a challenge that can be met with mindfulness, patience, and effort. By approaching your finances with care and intention, you create a sense of stability that extends beyond your bank account. You give yourself the freedom to focus on what truly matters, whether that's spending time with loved ones, exploring hobbies, or simply enjoying the peace of knowing that your needs are met. At its core, managing your finances isn't just about dollars and cents, it's about living in alignment with your values. It's about ensuring that your resources serve your life, not the other way around. By practicing mindfulness, embracing contentment, and making thoughtful choices, you can transform your relationship with money into one of empowerment and peace. Instead of worrying about what you lack, you can focus on the abundance of what you already have and the life you can create with it. 5. Letting relationships wither. Relationships are among the most beautiful yet fragile parts of life. They are the threads that weave together our sense of belonging, purpose, and joy. Yet, in the busyness of life, relationships often take a back seat. We assume that those we care about will always be there, or that they'll understand why we've been absent. But over time, the small fractures caused by misunderstandings, unspoken words, or neglected moments of connection can grow into wide gaps. Bonds that were once strong can begin to wither, leaving behind a quiet ache of loneliness and regret. It's not always intentional. Life has a way of pulling us in many directions, and as responsibilities pile up, reaching out to a friend or family member can seem like something to do later. But as the years pass, later often turns into silence. Perhaps pride stops us from mending a misunderstanding, or fear of rejection holds us back from reconnecting with someone we've grown distant from. These barriers, though understandable, can keep us locked in a cycle of isolation, longing for connection yet hesitant to take the first step. In Buddhist philosophy, the principles of Khanti, forbearance and forgiveness, and metta, loving kindness, remind us that relationships, like all things in life, are impermanent. This impermanence is not something to fear, but something to embrace as a reminder that every moment is an opportunity to reconnect, to forgive, and to love. Just as a garden that has been left unattended can bloom again with care, so too can relationships flourish when tended with patience, humility, and kindness. Rebuilding relationships often begins with a single act of courage. It could be as simple as sending a text message, making a phone call, or writing a note to someone you've lost touch with. You don't need the perfect words, you just need to show that you care. A message like, "I've been thinking about you and hope you're doing well," can reopen doors long thought closed. These small gestures signal to the other person that they still matter to you, even if time and distance have intervened. Listening deeply is another cornerstone of nurturing relationships. So often, conversations become about waiting for our turn to speak or trying to prove our point. But when you approach a conversation with genuine curiosity and humility, focusing on understanding rather than being understood, something magical happens. Walls begin to crumble, and space is created for empathy and connection. Active listening isn't just about hearing words, it's about showing the other person that they are seen, heard, and valued. Forgiveness is also a powerful force in healing relationships. It's not about condoning hurtful actions or pretending that pain didn't exist. Forgiveness is about freeing yourself from the heavy weight of resentment. When you choose to forgive, you let go of the anger or bitterness that may have been keeping you tied to the past. This act of release doesn't just benefit the person you're forgiving, it also brings you peace, creating space in your heart for love and compassion to grow. While rekindling old relationships can be deeply rewarding, it's equally important to invest in new ones. Joining a local group, volunteering, or participating in activities that align with your interests can introduce you to people who share your passions and values. These new connections can bring fresh energy and perspectives into your life, reminding you that it's never too late to form meaningful bonds. Even something as simple as greeting a neighbor or chatting with someone at a community event can lead to unexpected friendships. Building and maintaining relationships requires effort, but the rewards are immeasurable. Relationships give life its color and richness. They offer a sense of belonging, a safe space to share joys and sorrows, and a reminder that we are never truly alone. When you nurture these bonds, you create a network of love and support that sustains you through life's ups and downs. At times, the idea of rebuilding relationships might feel overwhelming, especially if the distance, emotional or physical, has grown wide. But remember that even the longest journey begins with a single step. You don't have to repair everything at once. Start small. Share a memory, express gratitude, or simply let someone know you're thinking of them. These small actions, though they may seem insignificant, can have a profound impact, opening the door to deeper connection. Life is too short to let relationships wither away. The time we have with the people we care about is limited, and every moment spent together is a gift. When you take the time to nurture your connections with forgiveness, kindness, and effort, you create a life that is not only rich in love but also deeply fulfilling. And in doing so, you remind yourself of a simple yet profound truth, that the heart of life lies in the relationships we cherish. 6. Fearing change and growth. Change is one of life's greatest certainties, yet it often feels like an unwelcome guest. As we grow older, The familiar routines and comforts we've built over time can feel like safe havens, a protective barrier against the unknown. But clinging too tightly to what is familiar can create walls that confine us, leaving us stagnant and disconnected from a world that continues to evolve. This resistance to change, while understandable, can lead to a quiet sense of being left behind, as though life is moving forward while we remain stuck in place. Yet, change is not the enemy. It is, in fact, the very essence of life, as Buddhist teachings remind us through the principle of anicca, or impermanence. Everything in existence is in a constant state of flux. Seasons shift, relationships evolve, and even our own thoughts and emotions come and go like waves on the shore. This impermanence is not something to fear, but something to embrace, a reminder that every moment holds the potential for transformation and renewal. When we resist change, we often do so out of fear. We fear the unknown, the possibility of failure, or the loss of what we once held dear. But in reality, resisting change does not stop it from happening. It only makes the process more difficult, like trying to hold back a river with our bare hands. By letting go of rigidity and opening ourselves to life's natural flow, we allow change to become a teacher, a guide that leads us to new experiences, opportunities, and ways of seeing the world. Approaching change with curiosity instead of fear can make all the difference. Instead of focusing on what might be lost, consider what might be gained. What if learning a new skill or adapting to technology could open doors to meaningful connections with loved ones? What if exploring a new hobby could ignite a sense of wonder and creativity you hadn't felt in years? Change doesn't have to mean abandoning who you are. It can mean discovering new facets of yourself you never knew existed. Mindfulness is a powerful tool for navigating change. When life feels uncertain, it's easy to become overwhelmed by thoughts of what if. But mindfulness encourages us to focus on the present moment, grounding ourselves in what is rather than what might be. Through practices like meditation, deep breathing, or simply pausing to observe your surroundings, you can find peace amid transitions. Mindfulness helps you see change not as a threat but as an opportunity to grow and adapt with grace. Letting go of rigid expectations is another key to embracing change. Life rarely unfolds exactly as we envision it, and clinging to a fixed idea of how things should be can lead to frustration and disappointment. Instead, try to see the beauty in how life is messy, unpredictable, and full of surprises. When you release the need for control, you create space for possibilities that may be even better than what you had imagined. Transformation doesn't always happen in big, dramatic ways. Often, it's the small steps that lead to the most profound growth. Maybe it's taking a beginner's class in something you've always been curious about, or volunteering in your community to meet new people. Maybe it's as simple as changing your daily routine, walking a different path, trying a new recipe, or reaching out to someone you've lost touch with. Each of these small actions is like a pebble dropped into a pond, creating ripples that extend far beyond the initial splash. It's important to remember that growth doesn't mean erasing the past. Your experiences, memories, and lessons learned are all part of who you are. Growth is about building on that foundation, using it as a stepping stone to move forward. Change doesn't diminish you, it expands you. It allows you to adapt to the evolving world around you while staying true to the essence of who you are. Consider the natural world as a source of inspiration. Trees shed their leaves in autumn, not as an end but as a preparation for new growth in the spring. Rivers change their course over time, carving new paths through the landscape. These transformations are not mistakes, they are essential parts of life's cycle. In the same way, your own changes, whether big or small, are opportunities to evolve, adapt, and thrive. Growth can feel uncomfortable at times, but it is in those moments of discomfort that we often find our greatest strength. Each time you step out of your comfort zone, you prove to yourself that you are capable of more than you thought. Each time you embrace change, you remind yourself that life is not a static journey but a dynamic, ever-unfolding adventure. When you choose to see change as the beginning of transformation rather than the end of comfort, you open yourself to a world of possibilities. You allow yourself to grow, not despite life's challenges, but because of them. And in doing so, you discover that the ability to adapt and embrace life's impermanence is one of the greatest gifts you can give yourself. Life is not about avoiding change, it's about meeting it with an open heart, a curious mind, and the courage to keep moving forward. 7. Ignoring mental health. Mental health is often the quiet cornerstone of our well-being. Yet it's one of the most overlooked aspects of health, especially among older generations. For many, there's an ingrained belief that emotional struggles should be handled privately, that seeking help is a sign of weakness, or that feeling sad, anxious, or disconnected is just a normal part of aging. But this perspective couldn't be further from the truth. Emotional well-being is as vital as physical health, and neglecting it can overshadow even the brightest moments of life, making each day feel heavier and harder than it needs to be. Unaddressed feelings of sadness, anxiety, or loneliness have a way of growing quietly, much like a neglected garden overtaken by weeds. What begins as a passing feeling can deepen over time, becoming a persistent weight that drains joy and colors your interactions with the world. These emotions are not just mental burdens, they can manifest physically too, affecting sleep, appetite, and even the body's ability to heal and fight illness. The mind and body are deeply connected, and when the mind is in distress, the body often follows. In Buddhism, there is a practice called sati, or mindfulness of the mind. This teaching encourages us to observe our thoughts and emotions without judgment, to see them as they are rather than labeling them as good or bad. It reminds us that struggles and pain are a natural part of the human experience, not something to be ashamed of. By approaching our inner world with compassion and curiosity, we create space for healing and understanding. This practice helps us recognize that emotions, like waves, rise and fall. They do not define us, nor do they last forever. Taking care of your mental health begins with acknowledging its importance. Just as you wouldn't ignore a persistent cough or an aching joint, you shouldn't ignore feelings of sadness, anxiety, or disconnection. These emotions are signals from your mind, much like pain is a signal from your body, alerting you to something that needs attention. Seeking support is not a sign of weakness, it's an act of courage and self-respect. Speaking with a counselor or therapist, joining a support group, or even confiding in a trusted friend can provide relief and remind you that you are not alone in your experiences. Practicing self-compassion is another essential step. Too often, we are our own harshest critics, telling ourselves to just get over it or comparing our struggles to those of others, as if pain were a competition. But mental health isn't about being the strongest or the most resilient, it's about recognizing your humanity. Treat yourself with the same kindness you would offer to a loved one who is struggling. When you feel overwhelmed, remind yourself that it's okay to rest, to ask for help, or to simply sit with your emotions without trying to fix them immediately. Engaging in calming activities can also help nurture your mental health. Journaling, for example, allows you to process your thoughts and emotions in a safe and private space. Writing down your feelings can bring clarity and create a sense of relief, as if you're unburdening your mind onto the page. Spending time in nature is another powerful way to soothe the mind. A walk in the park, listening to the rustle of leaves or the sound of birds, can remind you of the beauty and simplicity of the present moment. Mindful breathing, even for just a few minutes, can anchor you in the here and now. helping to calm racing thoughts and bring a sense of peace. Meditation is another invaluable tool, one that has been practiced for centuries to cultivate inner balance. You don't need to sit for hours in stillness. Even a few moments of focused breathing can make a difference. Imagine sitting quietly, closing your eyes, and taking a deep breath in, followed by a slow exhale. With each breath, you let go of tension and allow yourself to simply be. This practice doesn't eliminate challenges, but it equips you with the resilience to face them with a clearer, calmer mind. It's also important to remember that mental health struggles are not a reflection of who you are, they are part of being human. Everyone experiences moments of difficulty, and reaching out for help or taking steps to care for your mind is an act of strength, not failure. When you acknowledge your emotions and take action, you empower yourself to move forward, to rediscover joy, and to live with greater resilience. Your mental health matters because you matter. The way you feel inside affects how you engage with the world, how you connect with others, and how you experience the moments that make life meaningful. By prioritizing your emotional well-being, you give yourself the freedom to embrace life fully, with all its ups and downs, and to find peace even in the face of challenges. You remind yourself that you are deserving of care, compassion, and the opportunity to thrive, not just survive. Caring for your mental health isn't about perfection or avoiding struggle altogether. It's about building a foundation of support, self-awareness, and kindness that allows you to navigate life's difficulties with grace and strength. By doing so, you create space for joy, connection, and a deeper appreciation of the journey you are on. Each step you take toward healing, no matter how small, is a step toward a life filled with greater peace and fulfillment. And that, above all, is a gift worth giving yourself. 8. Choosing bitterness over gratitude. Bitterness has a way of taking root quietly, often without us noticing. It begins as a small seed, planted by disappointment, loss, or an unfulfilled expectation. Over time, if nurtured by dwelling on past grievances or regrets, it grows, weaving itself into the fabric of our thoughts and coloring how we see the world. What once might have been a fleeting feeling becomes a lens through which we view our lives, one that distorts joy, isolates us from others, and leaves little room for peace. Bitterness whispers that life has been unfair, that happiness belongs to others, and that it's too late to change. But these are lies, and holding on to them only deepens the pain. Gratitude, on the other hand, is a powerful antidote. It's not about ignoring life's difficulties or pretending pain doesn't exist. Instead, gratitude shifts our focus, helping us see that even in the face of hardship, there is beauty, kindness, and grace to be found. Buddhist teachings on mudita, or sympathetic joy, remind us that life's richness comes not just from our own blessings but also from celebrating the joy and success of others. When we cultivate gratitude, we open ourselves to the fullness of life, breaking free from the heavy chains of bitterness. One of the reasons bitterness takes hold is because we cling to the past, replaying moments of hurt or disappointment in our minds. Perhaps we dwell on a relationship that ended poorly, an opportunity we didn't take, or an expectation that life didn't meet. These thoughts become familiar, even comfortable, but they come at a cost. They trap us in a cycle of negativity, where it feels easier to focus on what's wrong than to see what's right. Letting go doesn't mean forgetting or minimizing what happened. It means choosing to release the emotional weight that no longer serves you, freeing yourself to embrace the present. Forgiveness is a key part of this process. It's not about condoning harm or pretending it didn't matter, it's about reclaiming your peace. When you forgive, you release the grip that resentment has on your heart, making space for compassion and understanding. Forgiveness is as much a gift to yourself as it is to others. It allows you to step out of the shadow of bitterness and into the light of gratitude, where you can begin to see life's blessings more clearly. Gratitude, much like forgiveness, is a practice. It's a conscious decision to notice and appreciate the good, no matter how small it may seem. Starting a gratitude journal is a simple yet profound way to cultivate this mindset. Each day, take a moment to write down 3 things you're thankful for. They don't have to be grand gestures. Something as simple as the warmth of the sun on your face, the sound of laughter, or a kind word from a friend can remind you of life's quiet joys. Over time, this practice trains your mind to focus on abundance rather than scarcity, helping you find contentment in the present. Living with gratitude also means savoring the present moment. It's easy to get caught up in what's missing or what went wrong, but mindfulness invites us to pause and truly experience life as it is. When you take a sip of tea, feel its warmth in your hands and taste its subtle flavors. When you walk outside, notice the colors of the leaves, the feeling of the ground beneath your feet, and the rhythm of your breath. These small acts of mindfulness bring us back to the here and now, where life's beauty unfolds. It's important to remember that gratitude doesn't erase life's challenges, but it changes how we face them. When you approach life with a grateful heart, you build resilience. You begin to see difficulties not as insurmountable obstacles but as opportunities to grow and learn. Gratitude helps you reframe your story, shifting the focus from what you've lost to what you've gained and what you still have to offer. Bitterness isolates, but gratitude connects. It reminds us of the love, kindness, and generosity that surround us, even in times of struggle. When we take the time to express gratitude to others, whether through a heartfelt thank you, a handwritten note, or a simple act of kindness, we strengthen our relationships and deepen our sense of belonging. Gratitude is a bridge, linking us to the people and experiences that make life meaningful. Choosing gratitude over bitterness is not always easy, especially when life has been challenging. But it's a choice that brings freedom, joy, and peace. It allows you to reclaim your narrative, to see yourself not as a victim of circumstances but as someone capable of finding light even in the darkest moments. Gratitude doesn't ignore life's difficulties. It transforms how you experience them, helping you uncover the beauty and meaning that exist alongside the pain. In the end, life is a mixture of joy and sorrow, gain and loss, hope and disappointment. You cannot change the past, but you can choose how you carry it. By letting go of bitterness and embracing gratitude, you open yourself to the possibility of a richer, more fulfilling life, one where you are free to savor the present, celebrate the good, and find peace in knowing that, despite its imperfections, life is a gift worth cherishing. Life is a story, and the later chapters hold just as much potential for beauty and meaning as the earlier ones. Aging is not a decline but a transformation, an opportunity to carry forward the wisdom of your experiences while continuing to grow, connect, and give back. Each day, no matter your age, is a new page waiting to be written, filled with choices that can shape a life rich with purpose, love, and gratitude. The power to create that story lies within you. As you reflect on the challenges and lessons we've discussed, remember that they are not obstacles to overcome alone but invitations to rediscover the beauty of life. Isolation can be met with connection, physical neglect with mindful care, and purposelessness with small, meaningful acts. Bitterness and regret, though heavy burdens, can be transformed into lightness through gratitude and forgiveness. Every moment offers you the chance to choose differently, to take a step toward joy, fulfillment, and peace. Buddhist teachings remind us that life's greatest treasures are often found in the present moment. By embracing impermanence and letting go of what no longer serves you, You open yourself to the possibilities that still lie ahead. You are not defined by your past or your age, but by how you choose to engage with the world today. Choose to reach out to others. Nurture your mind and body. And celebrate the simple yet profound gifts of life. These choices, small as they may seem, create ripples that extend far beyond you, touching the lives of those around you and leaving a legacy of kindness and compassion. Now, take a moment to reflect. What will your next step be? Perhaps it's calling a friend you've lost touch with or spending a quiet moment in gratitude for the blessings in your life. Maybe it's taking a walk outside, starting a new hobby, or sharing your wisdom with someone younger who could benefit from your experiences. Whatever it is, trust that even the smallest actions can spark profound change, not only in your own life but in the lives of others. We'd love to hear from you. What resonated with you the most in this video? What's one insight or idea you're planning to apply in your life? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Your journey could inspire someone else to take their first step. 2. Together, we can build a community of encouragement, resilience, and hope, showing that life's later years can be some of its most rewarding. Thank you for spending this time with us today. Your willingness to reflect, grow, and engage with these ideas is a testament to your strength and your commitment to living fully. If you found value in this video, consider sharing it with someone who might need these reminders. And don't forget to subscribe for more content that inspires and uplifts. As you move forward, carry this thought with you: every moment is a gift, and every choice you make shapes the legacy you leave behind. Choose connection, gratitude, and purpose. Embrace the richness of the journey, and trust that no matter where you are in life, there's always more beauty to discover and more love to give.